Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Or coming to you with another Company of Heroes 2 1v1. Today in the north, spawning up here is the blue OKW. We have the forces of SoE Overlord. And before we get down to his opponent, I do want to note his commanders as well as a very, very interesting bulletin decision by him. Commanders, of course, we do have Scavenge, Special Operations, and Fortification. So three very solid, very standard commanders to see from the OKW, especially in a 1v1. The kind of curious thing to me is the fact that he's bringing along ready for another round. Giving the the LEIG, the infantry support on the ISG, the ability to barrage 25% faster. Usually what you see just a lot of infantry buffs, as we see over here with his opponent, WMM Wuff. And Wuff, of course, is bringing to the fray the UKF, already running into that whole kind of triple Tommy opening. And like I stated already, just basically to kind of looking to buff up his squads, going for three solid bulletins for his troops. As the Overlord, just going to call him Overlord, make it a little bit easier on all of us here. Overlord is just instead going to go for a duel of Volksgrens and no Kubelwagen. Kind of a curious decision. Usually you want to see a Kubelwagen coming out so that way you can put some pressure on the flanks of the early Tommy squads. While they do get that firepower advantage in cover, as you can see right there with that kind of green stabby dagger. The ability of the Volksgrens as well as an OKW in the flank will compel them to retreat rather quickly, but Overlord does not seem inclined to do that. Instead, we're going to see that both sides have already got themselves locked and loaded with their fuel. Although it does seem that a very, very early quick pick from the Brits on this center VP will get contradicted rather quickly. Volksgrens coming up here looking to seal off not a whole lot, just taking this strategic point right here and then deciding against it, realizing that two squads of Tommies in cover, in excellent cover at that, probably not the great thing to do. That rate of fire buff is rather significant for them. They have dropped a model already though, but bringing in the addition of this Vickers machine gun, we will see Germans slaughtered if they do not move out soon. With Sturmpiles on the flank, we could actually see a nice little bit of a flank here. Vickers is going to find itself out of position already, backing up and going to probably go behind this stone wall here. But instead we're going to see actually the Sturmpiles backed off. Ooh, and even picked up. That is a super early loss, first blood to the Brits, and that's not something you want to see. But dear God, all these Volksgrens just locking down this machine gun. They got to take it out. That'd be kind of intense. No, just barely making it out, and no, three squads are going to get forced away. In fact, the only three squads that Overlord has on the map. He's going to rectify that, bringing in another Sturmpio squad. I think it was just kind of bad luck on that retreat path. You do see each of the models got picked off as they're doing their own little flanking maneuver, and the last one, unfortunately, where is that last poor sucker? Well, there's a lot of Germans over here in the center. Here he is. He's right there. Last one going off when that retreat path sent him back through all of the UKF. It's a bit unlucky there, but you know what? First blood to the Brits anyway. And 4 minutes in, almost 4 minutes in, we will see a very, very quick tech to platoon command post. Now, interesting to see though, will Wuff actually go and unlock the AEC? Well, he's not going to go for the Bofors, I can tell you that much, because the Bofors does not get a ton of love these days, and in my mind, rightfully so. Static emplacements don't have a whole lot of place in a game that's built a lot on being mobile and having a very, very flexible, adaptable positioning. We will see these Tommy squads again push off the field. The revived Sturmpios coming out and definitely owning the Brits rather quickly.
We're losing a capture point.
But their fuel for the Germans is going down, and while we will likely see, if I had to guess, a mech regiment. Oh, no, never mind. Watch him go for a battle group headquarters. He's really bleeding out rather significantly here. Royal Engineers have moved up over here to give a slight base of fire and line of sight to a certain degree for this Vickers, who will not put pressure onto this house. And what is going down? Yep, here comes the battle group headquarters. He desperately needs those medics. almost as desperately as he is over here taking away his opponent's fuel. And right now, under a dual cap, 2-0, the Germans seem a little bit flummoxed. What to do, they might be saying. Stun guns out of these Royal Engineers are not going to be enough to force away the Volksgrens. That's going to be the incessant chattering of this machine gun here.
A capture point is being overrun.
And yep, there is that AEC, so Wolf has decided to go into that kind of anvil specialization. And will be able to very, very quickly dominate this field, I think. Overlord is not going to tech into... Well, he can call in a Verketnever for pretty much whenever he wants to. I really do hope he's not going to tech into something like a half-track. No, instead he's going to go for very, very quick medics, and it's probably a good plan right now. It looks like he is threatening to capture the Northern VP to stem the tide of those bleeding tickets. Veteran C is starting to go out on the map as well. Volksgrens being forced away with 1 star, and their compatriots to the north as also getting forced away. To the south, it seems it's nothing really going up Millhouse for the Germans, and indeed, in fact, it's just going to be Royal Engineers running around without any kind of care in the world. 2 Tommy sections with stars of Veteran C, and now this AEC on the map. Germans have not yet picked up any anti-tank weaponry, and as an OKW against the Brits, you have to kind of expect this. Either be teching into a Kettenwerfer, or pick up that early, there we go, there's the Shrek finally. I take back everything I was saying about you, Overlord, I'm sorry. Mines have gone down in the meantime, M6 mine right down the main thoroughfare. That's going to be hell to pay for the Germans if they try to push forward there. And considering the early position, I don't know if Overlord is really being aggressive enough. Right now he is going to overload the top of the map. Not really the best decision in my mind. Volksgrens are going to be trooping down to the south, and I'm wondering, are the Germans just trying to kill time so they can get some more Shreks up on this other Strumpire squad? For my money, I think that'd be a great idea, but it's going to still cost them another 30 seconds or so before that happens. Royal Engineers, in the meantime, will line up against this slowly gathering force of Germans, and the first Shrek is going to come out. We're not going to do a whole lot, I imagine. Nope, never mind, here we go. Oh, no, it doesn't even do anything, though. It impacts against this fence instead. Kind of a brutal thing whenever that seems to happen. Royal Engineers are going to get forced back, but neither side is really gaining a massive advantage. Oh, no, I take that back. The Brits have taken pretty much, what, 70% of the map? 80% of the map? And the Germans don't have a whole lot they're doing. Instead, they're just pushing up to the north. Probably getting lost in a bit of a gunfight with this infantry section here. And it's not really the best option. Other Strumpires are going to get themselves a Shrek, and that's probably the best option at the moment for the Germans. That AEC otherwise will dominate all across the world. And things will just be bad news bears for the Germans otherwise. And ISG is coming out as well, but at least the Germans do now finally have a fuel point back in their own control. AEC is coming forward, though, trying to be a little bit irritating. Not going to do a whole lot. He's rightfully afraid of those 1 Shrek right there, and this cover is slowly being blown away. Is this hay barrels? Yeah, I've never heard of hay barrels that can stop a Shrek, but hey, you know, if that's the case, that's the case. And these Royal Engineers, in the meantime, ooh, get really unlucky, get caught out with negative cover super, super quick, and drop 2 models in about 3 seconds. What had been a strong position for the Brits is slowly starting to fold away. Not intensely, we do see them doing some deep caps over here. But it could happen if the Brits are not careful. Strumpires, in the meantime, are going to sit back over here and just put some long-range discouraging fire on this infantry section, just trying to stave off the German pressure. M6 mine has gone out over here for the Brits yet again, and the ISG's coming out as well. Yes, it has. So where is that firepower going? It has taken out that mine in the center part of the field. And unfortunately, Volksgrens have run across the other mine, so that's a bit of an issue.
6-pounder anti-tank gun finished.
And shockingly, Wuff has gone for a 6-pounder. Not entirely sure why. Definitely an interesting decision. ISG, in the meantime, though, is trying to drop rounds on top of this Royal Engineer squad. If it manages to go and take out another model or two, it won't, because they're backing away. They've taken the coward's route out, or perhaps the discretion viewpoint of things. Where are we, though? 10:15 into this game, and it's been pretty much all millhouse for the Brits. We do have this one kind of commando squad of Volkswagens coming in behind the 6-pounders. Not doing a whole lot, though. And indeed, is he going to just try to toss out an incendiary grenade on top of these Brits? Maybe a good idea. Never mind, he's not going to do it. He's going to hang out over here and bring in a second ISG. So I haven't really seen what Overlord's going to be doing with this. He's going a very non-standard build. Not going for a Kubelwagen, not getting a mech regiment headquarters, just going for ISGs instead, looking to kind of lock down that indirect firepower, which he desperately needs to do if he's going to do it. He's already down 200 tickets, less than 11 minutes into the game. That's only 11 minutes right now. But I suppose as the British control the field gets wider and wider, the Germans will obviously have more opportunities to kind of pick off other areas. Destroying cover coming out over here, taking away that little bit of a car. Yep, and that's gone now. It's a little bit unfortunate. Not entirely sure why they did that. But hey, they want to do it. They want to do it. Where are those rounds impacting? I could not tell you. Southern part of the map, though, we will see Incendiary Grenade will push back these Royal Engineers for about half a second. They're going to dive behind this fighting position right here. And Germans, in the meantime, are not accomplishing much. Finally coming under fire from these infantry squads over here. And another grenade coming out. If Wuff is not paying attention, he could really lose some HP, but he realizes it and backs away before it is too late. It is, though, going to be another trip cap for the Brits.
The ability is ready now.
Ooh, and it's going to be mobile assault. So if we go see, it could be interesting to see a infiltration commando coming out perhaps way back here in this house, diving forward to pick off the ISGs. That could be a very, very interesting decision. Maybe not the best one, but an interesting one nonetheless. Vickers' machine gun will realize that being inside this house is starting to become a liability with those infantry support guns out. I do have to see how long that barrage ability is. I could not tell you for sure. Germans, though, up to the north are trying to lock down this house and have managed to take back one VP, decapping another one. But it doesn't mean the infantry fight is going to go any easier for them. Schumann coming up to the south as well. So if, in a very kind of a non-standard position again, too, but the Brits will see it go out. And Wuff, in the meantime, has he gone up? Yep, he's gone up to company command post. He's calling in that Cromwell as we speak. So the Germans have to be quite careful. Rounds are coming in, though, from all sides. ISGs could manage to turn the balance of this game if, this is a big if, mind you, they get some solid hits. Now, unfortunately for them, they are not going to have a very good fighting position until the Schwerpanzer headquarters goes out. Even worse is the fact that now this AEC is trooping forwards. He's diving in, trying to pick up either the Schwerpanzer headquarters, which just seems intensely possible. And it probably will happen. That could be a big loss right there. Yep, and it goes down, and that's a huge investment of fuel that the Germans are not going to get back. At least they have picked off the AEC in its own time. The Sturmpires rushing forward to the attack to take it out. 6-pounder still hanging out in the backfield, and where is that Cromwell? He's just sitting in base right now, which is allowing the Germans to, shockingly enough, take back control of the field. That's something I did not expect to see at all. The Brits had a lot of material up and running. You do see they have lost an infantry squad, though are now getting Bren guns on the remainder of them.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Excuse me, I had to get a quick drink there for a second. Cromwell, in the meantime, announces its presence, and these Stern Pirates are very much outgunned, especially by close-range Bren fire. I don't know if the ISG is going to be dropping rounds on top of this Vickers, or are they going to start trying to drop rounds on top of... No, they're going on the center part of the field here. Good job, good job. Okay. Oof. But there goes a Stern Pirate squad. That's unlucky when that happens. When you're like, hey, look, I got 3 guys, and then one shot comes in and just whoops all 3 of them. But things could get easier for them. There's now a Raketin on the field, and the Overlord is deciding to go for that Fortifications Doctrine. Well, he's going for Fortifications Doctrine. Huh. Interesting decision. I wonder if we're going to see a Pack 43 coming out anytime soon. The 88 mil will definitely shred any kind of British forces on the map. And to be fair, if you look at the map itself, there are worse maps to use. The big gun kind of defense. Of course, at the same time, too, he could be deciding just to go for that LEFH. And while that is a long-term play, which he now can afford, too, that could be rather deadly. You know, just keep it back in his base and just kind of throw rounds out from way downtown. Yep. No, there's going to be a Pack 43 coming out in the center part of the map here. Won't necessarily put a ton of pressure out on everything. This Verfer is more the first line of defense, I suppose. But the area denial by itself might be enough to get Overlord back in this, at least long enough to get his Schwerpanzer headquarters on the field. ISG's in the meantime dropping rounds on top to the north, trying to take out this infantry section, which is capping and looking to swing back the ticket game in favor of the Brits. It's a 1-0 right now. It'll be a 2-0, and then a 3-0 without too much longer here. Now, this Rakettenwerfer, though, will announce its presence as Cromwell will... Is he going to charge? No, he's not going to charge. Brave soul there. Pack 43 has finally come up and running, and that guy will shred anything that's anywhere close to it. You see it right now, trying to pick off the infantry. Not the best idea, but still be rather devastating once he gets the opportunity. Even more scary is if he goes and tries to put through that heavy AT round. Quite devastating. The Germans are shifting forwards, trying to cut off the southern portion of the map, and if they do so, it could be more than enough to get some control back on the field. But this will be a land match that's going out, which means we're probably going to see that poor 88mm getting hammered. Yep, rounds are already impacting around that hapless crew.
The supply line's broken.
Shockingly, not really doing a whole lot of damage. There we go, that's better. This is when things like the LEFH make way more sense than putting out the 88mm, but that's still a necessity at the moment. Germans do manage to decap out the middle part of the map. They're again still down 250 tickets. Not going to be easy to get back into this.
We have fallen to 200 points.
And these ISGs, do they have counter battery fire? No, they don't. It'd be kind of nice if they did, but they don't. They have the HE barrage. And Overlord is just very frustrated right now. And I kind of understand why. I mean, like, a lot of his troops are just like, they go out into the field, they're there for 3 seconds, and they get whooped. In the meantime, though, this 88mm is going to get a little bit of, let's say, annoying fire from infantry squads to the south. And the unfortunate thing for the German squads is that their easiest way to push forwards is by doing these blatant frontal assaults. They don't know where that Vickers is again, and it is controlling a large portion of the map. So if he's not particularly careful, he could lose a lot of very near and dear equipment super quickly. However, we're starting to see some blobs happening here from Overlord, which might allow him to get back into this game, if only by a little bit. Interestingly, we will see the mill bomb upgrade coming out for the Brits, which will give them a little bit more of an explosive firepower, a little bit of bursty kind of idea, if they are fortunate enough and really are looking to kind of use those munitions. You do see, of course, that is 25 munitions, so cheaper than some of the other grenades, perhaps, but also maybe a little bit lighter. Rakettenwerfer, in the meantime, will throw a couple rounds at this Cromwell, which just kind of blithely hangs out here, not doing a whole lot. And waiting for the next barrage to come in. It's coming in super, super quick. Shocked he's not using it already. That's the thing about the land mattress. I feel the land mattress needs to be nerfed ever so slightly in terms of the damage output that it has. And I imagine that's going to come up pretty soon. Sheriff Penta headquarters is locking down the middle part of the map, but against a land mattress, that will not go well. All he's got to do is just set up and just, yep, Willie Pete or just the HE. Either way, it's going to be pretty bad. There's the next barrage. And my guess he's looking for that 88 mil again. That pack might get taken out. No, instead, folks, he's looking for the ISGs. But the ISGs managed to kind of slide out to the right-hand side, dipping and dodging and looking for all the world. Like he's playing dodgeball with wrenches. And indeed, the middle part of the map might actually start to turn into an Axis lake. I mean, right now, shockingly enough, Overlord has managed to take all 3 points. It won't last too long with this Cromwell in the south, nor will it last terribly long in the middle part of the field here. I speak too soon. The Sheriff Penta headquarters will shred this infantry squad if these guys are not particularly careful. It's only by God's good grace and King George's spirit that these guys are not already being pinned. Regardless of that, it is still a 2-0 cap for the Germans. It seems that down here this Cromwell has managed to take a Panzerfaust or run over a mine. I believe it's been a Panzerfaust though. Don't see any mines that really going off unless it's that one right there finally blew. Either way, hey, a win is a win, more or less, for the Germans. But the Brits don't seem inclined to take that lying down. You do see them take back 2 of these points within the next 10 seconds or so. Southern one's going to be theirs in just a few moments. And with both fuel points firmly in their grasp, I'm kind of surprised that Wuff has not decided to go for heavy tanks. You know, going for that whole Comet tank, perhaps. But no, instead he decides he's just going to stick with the kind of infantry-centric composition.
Enemy causing trouble.
Never mind, there he's going to finally go for that hammer specialization. A good idea right there. To a certain degree, I can kind of understand going just pure infantry and using the land mattress as the kind of a long-range indirect support. Because as long as this pack's here, and as long as this is here, the British troops and British armor really won't be doing spectacularly, let's say. Germans to the north are going to try to go and take on this infantry section, and with the help of a very fortunate shot, they're going to manage to take away this fuel point, I do believe. Kind of hoping to see the ISG start to put fire down over this other direction. Nope, instead we're going to see the land mattress taking out this pack. 88, I think. One more rocket should do it. No, there we go. D-crew, which is not overly much an issue for Overlord. I mean, as long as the pack itself has not been completely wrecked, he's pretty much in good shape. Cromwell itself slides up to the north, has picked up 1-star veterancy. Looking at the veterancy in the current state of the game, 23:50, 23, almost 24 minutes into the game. I do see a couple of squad upgrades for the Germans, but far more for the Brits. Bren guns on all the infantry sections, a flamethrower on the Royal Engineers, good idea right there, and a hazard removal kit. Also a good plan. How did this guy take some damage already? Okay, maybe he took a round or 2 of artillery fire. As far as veterancy goes, we do have a full vet up Tommy squad. And a couple other ones who aspire to that level, not quite getting there just yet. Germans, in the meantime, though, do have their own veterancy issues. They have a couple of squads at 3 veterancy, but that doesn't mean everything is hunky-dory for them. Though this Rakettenwerfer right here should get at least another shot off. No, shockingly enough, does not get it. And I dare say that is another... Yep, it's Comet. He's a shooter. Comet's going to be coming out, and if that happens, the Germans need to have their own heavy tank to enforce their desires in the middle part of this game. 135 to 398. The Germans were up against it quite a bit and are seemingly able to slowly come back. I say again, I would like to see maybe an LEFH as opposed to necessarily just that Pack 88. But, you know, nobody's perfect, right? Unfortunately, too, is that this infantry squad, while plucky and definitely able to go toe-to-toe with, which I'm looking for, armor without too many issues, they are going to get hurt pretty badly by this Vickers if they don't back off. They do finally make the decision that it might be better to allow the good old red, white, and blue a chance to kind of take back their land. And of course, I say the red, white, and blue. Of course, I don't mean the Americans. In this particular case, the red, white, and blue would be that UKF. Another series of rockets going off. Yes, it is. Question is where? Fuel point? Interesting.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Not sure I would have gone for the fuel point necessarily. I think I probably would have tried to barrage out one of these other areas here. But, you know, a lucky rocket or two and things can be much, much better for the Brits. Never mind, because one bullet can change the entire course of history here. Vickers is going to go and pick up the center part of the field, and I do not know if the Germans are ever going to build themselves a legit tank. I would think that's a good idea. That's just me, though. I do think it's possible that the Germans are going to try to go up to 300 munitions and go for some sort of, not sort of knockout punch necessarily, but at least a big, big walloping on top of the Brits. Problem with that is they have to do it soon. You do see instead finally a Jagdpanzer coming out for Overlord, looking to go toe-to-toe with at least one of these tanks, and probably both of them at the same time, because whoever fights a one-on-one combat in a war game, like, you know, I mean, going mano-a-mano is what you do if you're going on like a, you know, a first date or a Western gunfight. You don't do that when you're fighting war, man. And indeed, this Comet will find out that he might want to return another 27 years. Taylor's Comet, by the way, she owns that tank. Just a little bit of an astronomy joke for you guys out there. The Comet taking some heavy, heavy damage from the Pack 88 and the Sturm Pioneer Squad. Now, what is more concerning is the fact that this 6-pounder is now technically in range of the Sheriff Panzer headquarters. I do have to wonder, he knows, yep, he knows it's there. So I'm wondering when we're going to start to see. Oh no, we're just going to see a ton of fire rush down as quickly as possible on top of the Sheriff Panzer headquarters. That goes down. Oof, main gun destroyed on the Comet though. Oh no, it's a Cromwell, excuse me. I didn't see how short that barrel was. Question is, can they do it? It's awfully close. One more round will do it. Never mind, there it goes. And the 6-pounder does exactly what he was made to do, what he was bred to do, what he was born to do. But not before a Jagdpanzer gets out. And Germans, in the meantime, do still control the center part of the field, and for some reason decide that they're going to throw their anti-tank gun forward into the fray as bravely as possible, but also as stupidly as possible. Jagdpanzer has rushed now to the attack, running into the 6-pounder pretty easily. Going to take significant damage. Kind of wondering what Overlord was thinking there. Comet, for his own trick, is rushing forwards, going to potentially take him out? Could this be the shortest lived? Yep, Jagdpanzer just rushed forward and got taken out immediately. That was just super dumb there. But it happens sometime, I suppose. And that is the mortar pit that's been put down just inside the home area for the Brits. Although the defensive position of it does indicate that the Brits feel they don't really have a whole lot of control of this game. And I'm kind of wondering at this point too why Overlord is not just calling in his last truck saying screw it and is playing for a late game Tiger. I mean, 30 minutes in, he should have been way closer to this than he is already. And now his own anti-tank avenues are getting picked off one squad at a time. All he's got now is just a Rakettenwerfer, and that's just not enough. Landmacher seeking those ISGs. Not going to do so. Instead, just hammers away the wreckage of the Porsche Fairpanzer headquarters. Doesn't quite take it out though, or doesn't at least do it completely. But I didn't even realize too, the Germans have been able to pick up a Bren gun or two. And indeed, the infantry sections for the Brits are looking a little bit scanty. Kind of wondering, is it possible? Can they do it? I think they should be. No, they don't. They don't have the 2 inventory weapon space. Okay, interesting there. And for some reason, the Royal Engineers have run right up close and personal. Kind of a couple of weird plays happening here. But Kettenwerfer, in the meantime, rushing back away from the Cromwell, away from the scary, scary Comet. And the Germans are somehow managing to stabilize here. This should really be an open and shut case with the massive armor disparity. But that Pak 88 is really doing quite well. I'm shocked to say it. Also kind of confused how these guys have medical supplies happening here. They're not using medical supplies. Oh well. Instead, they're going to start to exchange some firepower over here with the infantry sections to the north. And with a zero vet squad. Ooh, here we go. Zeroing artillery. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of British material to be seen here.
Our headquarters are under fire.
Nope. And in fact, that's just going to be kind of a waste, unfortunately. That's 300 munitions down the drain. In the southern part of the field, the British tanks get themselves back up and running. I do kind of wonder how much better life could have been if the Jagdpanzer had just stayed alive. I don't know. For Kettenwerfer though, might get one round off. No, it doesn't. Instead, a Willie Pete round comes out from the Comet tank.
Emplacement under attack.
And incidental rounds just kind of come in. Oh, ooh. ISGs, ISGs take that out? No.
The enemy have destroyed a forward emplacement.
No, was that the ISGs? If that was the, dear God, if that was the ISGs, that was just like the most epic ISG barrage ever. It does seem though that the Brits are angry and trying to get some revenge for their fallen comrades. Rockets impacting all over the place yet again. I can't help but feel that maybe putting out a Willie Pete barrage might be a better opportunity. Putting phosphorus on top of an anti-tank gun that can't move will decrew the anti-tank gun. Unfortunately, we're not really seeing that happen from the Allied perspective. Infantry section over here, 3255 into the game, is slowly being forced back by these STG armed Volks. And with a couple of fully vetted up squads, the infantry section fight has gotten much, much harder for the Brits. I mean, even more so if these ISGs manage to take out this Vickers. But no, the Vickers will get away. Luckily, too, the next round's going to impact right on top of his poor, poor little head. And indeed, this Cromwell is charging forwards. He's probably going to get picked off here. That pack is still up and running. And yep, there he goes. That pack goes up to 3 stars of veterancy just by doing that. And we also will see in one of the Royal Engineer squads go down. In fact, that was the Flamethrower squad. So Wolf starting to take a little bit too much in the way of losses here. Willie Pete round from the north will damage one of his ISGs quite severely. But it's still not great. Now these Obers are coming up with the LMGs. And coupled with the STGs, this is starting to become a fight that's really just the Germans to lose. Even more devastating is the fact that now these machine gunners are just kind of rushing forwards here, being forced back now, finally. And it's up to this one lone section of Tommies to face down what amounts to 3 different squads, excuse me, of Germans. They are forced back, the Germans that is, but it's only because this Comet has come forward yet again. And Overlord creeps slower and slower towards that King Tiger. And if that King Tiger comes out, ain't nobody gonna be ready Verkettenwerfer will get around off into the side of the Comet, perhaps? Yep, there we go. And here comes a Panzerfaust as well, so unfortunately that Verkettenwerfer decided to back away as opposed to sticking it out. He was a coward. And in the meantime as well, this pack does get picked up by the barrage rockets of the land mattress. I tell you what, they should have bought a Serta. And no, I'm not actually being paid to say that. I'm just kind of saying it for fun. Obers are pulling their weight. Usually Obers do get kind of overshadowed in the late game, but I suppose it's a little easier to kind of do your thing when your opponent is sending in what amounts to rubes across the entire map. I mean, dear God, look at the veterancy advantage now for the Germans. One squad has veterancy over here. One real good veterancy. And geez, they're getting picked apart by these LMGs. I never really realized how effective these things are at range. One squad takes one model lost and gets them suppressed for half a second. In the meantime, instead, we're going to see this infantry section is going to get carved apart. Oh my gosh, already losing a model already. Dropping one model in return. Still not particularly healthy for these Brits. But perhaps what's happening here is the Brits are just trading lives for time here.
Land mattress crew trained and ready to go.
Pulling another land mattress as well. They're just trying to just barrage out the Germans as much as possible. And with only 100 tickets left for his opponent, it seems that Wuff is more than willing
Enemy threatening a
to
capture.
play a very Russian-style attack here. Germans don't seem content to lie down, though. They are going to take that point back up to the north, same time that the Brits take the one in the center part of the map. And trust me, they will manage to do so, unless these ISGs have glorious god hits any second. Sturm pilots, in the meantime, will come up against these Royal Engineers, who have their own, has a captured Shrek. So we're seeing a lot of cross-pollination of squads here in terms of just weapon opportunities. Of course, if these Royal Engineers aren't careful, they get picked off here. Yep, they go down. At least they drop the captured Panzer Shrek. And the land mattress in return starts to throw rounds down range, looking to pick off whatever he can. And actually, that might be both of them firing at the same time. So could we see, yep, there goes all the veterancy, hard won by the ISGs. And yet again, though, at the same time, the Brits are going to get, they can't suppress both of these squads at the same time. We will see one's going to get suppressed, the other one will get a burst or two of fire off. All it's left is just one lone model. If there's just one unlucky burst of fire, this Vickers could go down, but instead he makes it away. And I can't tell you how many times that guy has been getting away with just one single stinking model. But what could close out the game for the Brits? I would just say go heavy, heavy tanks, dude. Tanks and charge the bejesus out of them. You know, the fact that your opponent's got an anti-tank gun back up and running, take it out. Don't just be playing the indirect fire game. You know you have your opponent on the ropes. And to be fair, he really should know he's got this opponent on the ropes. 75 tickets, and him, have 4 times as many. I think what should be happening right now is just a nice combined arms approach. It's unfortunate to notice, though, at the same time. Oof. One of these Volk squads could go down. 5 stars of veterancy. Yep, there he goes. He's out.
Losing a capture point.
And there's the King Tiger. That was something that should have been kind of prepared for a heck of a long time ago. There is practically nothing that will do enough damage on the map to justify the current British army composition. This I loosely I'm calling this in favor of the Germans, and that's assuming this King Tiger doesn't just get lost immediately.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
In the north, we'll see Volkskrantz will charge and be pushing back the Brits quite easily, and indeed King Tiger announces its presence by taking out one model with one shot, as seems the King Tiger way. Comet will be a little bit aggressive, sliding to the north. 6-pounder looking to back him up. And I don't know, he still doesn't have him in line of sight, though. Luckily for that King Tiger, he could have taken some significant damage unnecessarily. And indeed, this momentary lull in the fighting will allow the Germans to take all 3 points. They have taken out another Tommy squad, with that another Bren gun too. So the question really is, first of all, what were they firing at? That's one question right there. But if the land matches do what he needs to be done, which is basically take out every single thing on the map, I'm not sure they can. I mean, that's like an awfully tall order.
The capture point is being overrun.
King Tiger needs to shift forwards and he can take out pretty much every heck he wants to. Doesn't matter too much for the Sturmpyos though, they're going to get forced back. King Tiger also is going to take some rounds from that 6-pound AT gun. Deservedly so. But, again, the Germans still do have all 3 points. The squad to the south is not necessarily being as aggressive as he should be. Of course, he only has half strength right now. I'd be throwing down maybe a booby trap or something like that. Unfortunately, if that comet comes close, there's nothing he can do about that. But wherever there's a legitimate fight between infantry, that King Tiger is just going to come forward and just shred whatever's against. And indeed, the 6-pounder's coming up, and I don't think that's a great opportunity for him. Geez, super lucky right there. That King Tiger should have gotten a 1 or 2 rounds in. Done some significant damage to the 6-pounder. The 6-pounder is still just out of range ever so slightly. Obers might see themselves suppressed. Yep, they're suppressed. Not that hard, though. And these ISGs, in the meantime, will be tossing down rounds at the 6-pounder as much as possible. Oof, impact immediately coming on top of him. If that 6-pounder goes down, I have to worry about the British forces here. Pack 40 in the meantime, be recruited for like the 5th time. Has gotten enough rounds onto the Comet that thing is just running for cover, and why shouldn't he? King Tiger in the meantime is asserting himself in the north, doing that weird thing with that massive cannon, only taking out 1 model at a time. Super frustrating. We'll also see that vehicle crew self-repairs are being utilized by Wolf. Good idea. He doesn't have a whole lot of engineers to really get guys up and running. Just that lone squad without any upgrades, without really anything. And will the engineers be running back here to pick up a Piat? Might be a good opportunity. It could be a good decision. Vickers in the meantime is going to start to get plastered by the King Tiger. 1 more round, but it's all it'll take to take it out. No, he doesn't. Instead, he's going to take some firepower from the newly arrived 6-pounder. Oh no, excuse me. I'm sorry. That guy is not newly arrived. He's been here for quite a bit of time, hasn't he?
The enemy cut our supply line.
But Obers are up and running, and with this particular line of sight, the King Tiger is going to do quite well on his own.
We have 200 points now.
Jeez, dude, Overlord's been taking such awful RNG luck. 1 rocket taking out 3 guys. Just really ridiculously unlucky there. 6-pounder shifting forwards, and I'm wondering, will the King Tiger rush forward to try to take it out? Maybe. Seems like it's going to attempt to happen. And instead, again, we're just going to see these land mattresses look to deny as much area as possible. And I'm wondering, though, if the Brits are really just not playing this late game correctly. Comet moving forward, probably going to trap down a Willie Pete round or something like that, because he seems to be in love with that particular ability. We'll intelligently see some 5-star Volks retreat, but that doesn't mean that the Brits are really having a victory. It just means the Germans are not winning as quickly as they should. Vickers is up and running yet again. This thing has just had like a brilliant lucky life.
Smoke screens for any vehicles that need crew repairs.
And what's more, we're going to see these Volksgrens again just be suppressed like crazy. These poor guys just can't seem to get a win with that, can they? But neither can the Tommies in the center part of the field. Rounds coming in, and it seems every single time an artillery shell comes down, a model drops. Of course, now that I say that, no model drops. But, there we go, finally there's another one going down. But, the Germans have been pushed back long enough that they should be able really to take the rest of the field should they be any sort of aggressive. Obers in the meantime will trade firepower with this infantry section to the north. And with only 3 models, that Bren gun might be more than enough to really kind of tip the balance in favor of the English. I hear more rockets going off though. Where are they going out? Once again, looking for the indirect fire support that's just been the bugaboo for the Brits the entire game. Comet in the meantime is trying to slide north. Not sure it's the best idea here. We will see a couple of rounds coming out immediately from the... What the heck? The Raketin did not shoot at all. Never mind. Raketin not doing diddly squat. Dude, what are you doing? You had him. You were camouflaged. King Tiger in the meantime will try to shift forward, maybe take out a round or 2 of somebody. No, it's going to be zeroing artillery instead coming down. Yep, and that might be a big, big loss right there. Engineers going down for the Brits. And the King Tiger's taking a fair amount of damage here, but so is that Comet tank. And if I have to be perfectly honest, I am way more in awe of a King Tiger than I am a single Comet. I'm sure Williams will probably yell and B&M about how great the Comet was, but dude, it's a King Tiger. So Williams, I'm throwing on the gauntlet right there. Rounds instead coming in from those ISGs, recruit again and again. I've been meaning to check this entire time. Yeah, dude, that barrage, it's barely over and it's already back up and running again, possibly ready to go again. And let's also be fair here. Ooh, a Bren gun is up. Oh, just barely not taken. Let's be fair here. Even if Overlord loses, he was down like 300 tickets for most of this game, and the fact that he's pulled it back to this is both shocking and a little bit sad. Obers in the meantime, though, if they can pick up excuse me, I was gonna call it a Maxim. If they can pick up this Vickers, this could be one of the most vital victories of this late game.
They're trying to take it.
Brits do have a 1-0 cap right now. In the north, we will see infantry sections being forced off by 5-star Brend up Volks Grenadiers. The other one in the center part of the field, be facing down this Royal Engineer squad. Yeah, they're going to get a nice suntan, but should be able to do okay. And indeed, yep, 1 model's already dropped, 1 model left, and the Volks are able to hold on just barely. Only thing that might even be keeping the Brits in this game might be this landmaster support. And I still wouldn't be too particularly confident about saying that. 6-pounder is rushing forward, though, trying desperately to face off against this Tiger, the King Tiger tank, excuse me. And with the help of the Comet, might be more than enough to do so. But I suppose as long as the Comet is forced away... Oh, and there goes the Max, and there goes a 6-pounder. So it's taken him a really, really long time to do it, but that is a big, big loss right there. 6-pounder gets taken out, it's even more of a loss. Yep, and there it goes. That's not getting recruited, Jim. It's dead. It's never coming back. And the King Tiger now has really no hardcore threats to it on the field. Sure, that Comet's still there, and sure we have a second 6-pounder here. But 1 6-pounder does not an effective anti-tank presence make. And indeed we will see Volks charging forwards, both to take this point and to put pressure on this anti-tank gun. Sure, they'll take some fire in the flank over here from this Bren, but as long as he takes out... excuse me. As long as he takes out, or at least decrews, the 6-pounder, that's still a victory right there. But it seems he's just as happy to go and take out this particular infantry squad. Will probably do so with both the Obers and the STGs. No, the received accuracy plummeting on retreat, saving those guys' lives. Instead, we will see this STG squad run into another Bren armed, let's say, squad, and that will be enough to convince them to push away. Might seem silly at this point, but maybe bringing in something as silly as light as a Puma could be a good idea for the Germans. He can't call another King Tiger anyway. And not utilizing... Oh no, he's going to call in the Schwerpanzer headquarters again for the third time doing so. And considering what his opponent has left, that might be an actual opportunity for him. Please forgive me, guys, if you have a weird thing happening just then. I managed to hit the Windows button because I'm a goof. King Tiger, in the meantime, though, has not been repaired and will find itself being pushed back on the field. But Kettenwerfer also is out of position, should be swinging itself around. Could get some easy shots onto his opponent, but he's not doing so. Turn, my friend, turn! Instead, the Obersoldaten are getting it forced back. King Tiger, in the meantime, is slowly getting repaired, but with the support of that 6-pounder, may not be quite enough. No, he's still up and running, if only barely. Instead, what we will see the Germans over here trying desperately to push back this infantry section, as well as taking out this SWS with any sort of accidental firepower that they can. No, instead we're going to see just losses galore coming out. Kettenwerfer gets taken out because he wasn't paying attention. And that's just a hard cheese to swallow right there. More infantry coming out for Wuff. And this Comet tank barely still on the fray. Nope, and he's going to get forced out, but right before he caps out that point. It will be a 1-to-1 cap in favor of nobody, obviously. And what's more, where is that Tiger? Tiger's up here. He's not really in any kind of the shape to do anything. And this game, which has gone on now for 52 minutes, has been kind of a slugfest back and forth. Neither player giving quarter or asking for it. And indeed, we will see these SDGs are trying to put pressure onto these Brens, and these guys are out only in half cover. As you can see here, though, they're doing pretty well despite them. And Void Engineers, another squad being freshly called in, has now also teched itself up with a flamethrower. Not sure really that was the most necessary option, but nevertheless, having that on the field is a good idea, I suppose. The Germans, for their own part, I'm wondering if they're just trying to stay and get zeroing artillery one more time. I feel like the next time there's a major engagement here, we could see victory or death on this map. 88 mil in the meantime has gone and devastated a lot of things, but not managed to kill everyone just yet. King Tiger shifting forwards, bravely looking to go and push back the British infantry, if at all practical or possible, and even maybe despite that, not doing it. Practicing get decrewed, unsurprisingly there. And what had been a massively British game has just been... It's been crazy. It's been crazy. What can I say? Other than that, I can't say anything else, really. King Tiger comes up, neatly goes and picks off two models with just one quick shot, and Schwerpanzer headquarters again goes down. And he can't help but wonder if this is just really kind of a bad idea at this point. I guess he really just thought that he might as well bring it out. I mean, he's got all the fuel. I think I probably would have saved it and gone for some more infantry instead. But hey, you know, who am I to say otherwise? Also, just unfortunate, but those guys were not quite in line of, in line of sight. So the Brits will take back the center part of the field yet again.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
And calling in another Comet, it looks like, or is that another Cromwell? I'm gonna say it's a Cromwell. Yep, there's a Cromwell. With 616 fuel, it's only about ridiculous time that the Brits decide to really bring it in. However, one super bad engagement could mean death for the UKF.
A capture point is being overrun.
And indeed, although the Brits might manage to take back the center VP, the southern one will be decapped in 5 seconds. And King Tiger is slowly being repaired and slowly being brought forward onto the middle part of the map yet again. Could mean death and destruction for this last engineer. No, he makes it away. And indeed, it's the Shred Panzer headquarters taking a lot of damage instead. Now the question is, are you aggressive at this point and try to take out your opponent's means of waging war, or do you just play it safe and just kind of continue to nip back and forth at him? I don't know if I can necessarily make that decision super easily, and indeed, wherever the Germans aren't, that's where the Brits are taking parts of the map. 6-pounder in the meantime taking a fair amount of firepower, and in...
The enemy is trying to overrun our HQ.
Ooh. This could be big. It's zeroing artillery. The question is where?
Supplies looking a bit squiffy. Line's been cut.
Oh, we're okay. It's up in the north. Not doing a whole lot though. Okay. Okay. King Tiger's going to take some damage already in the first place, and now both the Comet and the Cromwell will just kind of do this whole little minor vehicle gangbang here. And unfortunately for that King Tiger, that turret rotation is super, super slow. So he might be able to pick off his last Tormentor, but he's going to go down in the process. And I do think this is finally the end of the game. 56 minutes and 20 seconds into this game. King Tiger goes down. Cromwell's probably going to buy it as well, but what's left for the Germans? A Jagdpanzer's probably trying to be called in right now. It's not going to happen though. One more round comes through. Yep, there it goes. Overlord does not have enough manpower to call in another KT. And with that, that's going to be pretty much the end of the game. I'm just going to go and speed this up a little bit so we're not languishing in the last couple of seconds on this. Yep, trip gap, it will be the end of the game. Well played to both sides. Definitely some micro mistakes that could have gone better. But seesawing back and forth more than an Aerosmith song. More than children on a playground. Actually, do playgrounds have seesaws anymore? Just a bit of a question out there. Don't know. But well played to Wolf. I thought you had thrown it away, but you pulled it back at the end with that King Tiger pickup. Overlord Buddy probably should have been a little more attentive to that poor Tiger, but you didn't, and now he's extinct. Nevertheless, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I love seeing all the material you post on my channel. So, you know, likes, comments, subscribes, games you want me to check out, please do so, and I'll be happy to do take a look and give them a cast. And I have also noticed now we are over 700 subscribers. So, guys, thank you so much. We still have another month before the end of the year. I do want to see at least 750. I don't think we're going to get 1,000, but I want to see 750. You think we can do it? I think we can. But for the moment, though, this is Con Ulrich signing off. So everyone, you have a great night, and I'll see you all soon. Take it easy.